Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to start Unit 6.3, exercise number 5 and 6. And today's topic is use of since and for. So today we will discuss the uses of since and for. Now let's start with the first. Since it gives the starting point of actions, events or states continuing until the present. Since हम तब यूज करते हैं जब हमें किसी भी इवेंट का या किसी भी एक्टिविटी का स्टार्ट पॉइंट मालूम हो, and it is you or the action which was started in the past and it is still going on, और वो एक्शन अभी तक कोई काम अभी तक जारी है. It refers to when things begin. So in since we only know the starting point कि काम और एक्टिविटी कब स्टार्ट हुआ था. It can only be used with the perfect tenses, और ये हम यूज करते हैं perfect tenses में. Formula है since plus a point in time in the past or until now. For example, I have been waiting since 7 o'clock. मैं आपका इंतजार 7 बजे से कर रहा हूँ. अब कब से इंतजार कर रहा हूँ? 7 बजे से. So I know the start point. So that's the reason we are using since. अब हमने ये नहीं कहा कि 7 बजे से 8 बजे तक या 2 hours. We know just a starting point, 7 o'clock. So we use since. I have known him since January. I have been here since 5 o'clock and I'm getting tired. It has been 3 years since the last earthquake. Now we are going to discuss uses of for. We use for when we measure the duration. When we say how long something lasts, we can use all verb tenses with for. For हम तब यूज करते हैं जब हमें किसी भी एक्टिविटी या किसी भी एक्शन का टाइम पीरियड मालूम हो कि और वो कितने टाइम तक वो एक्शन हुआ, या वी कैन से दैट we know the start and end of any event. So we use for, and it can be used with all the verb tenses. So formula is we can use for plus a period of time. Now, for example, I have known her for a long time, for a long time. A long time is a more time that we know, so we use for. I have lived here for 10 years. 10 years is countable. We know that 10 years, and we know the start and end, so we use for 10 years. And then move to another place. They are exercising for 3 hours today. 3 hours we know, and we know the when start or when it ends, like we can say 3 hours, so we use for. So if we sum up, we can find the differences. Knowing when to use for and since it is important. अब कब हम for use करते हैं? For is used to mention a specific period or duration of time. For हम तब use करते हैं जब हमें start और end मालूम हो, or we can say that we know the duration of time. For example, I have been a doctor for 15 years. Now duration is 15 years, so that's the reason we are using for. Now let's discuss since. Since is used to mention the starting point of a period of time continues to now. कोई भी एक्टिविटी, कोई भी इवेंट जब पास में स्टार्ट हुआ और वो अभी तक जारी है प्रेजेंट में, तो हम यूज करते हैं since. It means we can say that हमें सिर्फ स्टार्ट पॉइंट मालूम है कि वो कब स्टार्ट हुआ. We don't know the ending. Then we are using since. For example, I have been a doctor since 1992. अब इसमें स्टार्ट पॉइंट है 1992 and we don't know कि till what period of time I am a doctor. मैंने ये भी नहीं कहा कि 1992 से 1995 तक था or for 3 years, like. So we know the start point and we discuss, we write, we use since. So now in short, I'm going to sum up the uses of since and for. Now you can see the chart over there. Now since plus starting point. Now there are two examples. I have been living in Japan since 2012. मैं जापान में 2012 से stay कर रहा हूँ. I'm living there. Okay. Other example is I have been living in Japan for 4 years. अब आप देखें कि 2012 is start point. अब मुझे मालूम है कि मैं वहाँ पे रह रहा हूँ 2012 से, starting point. So I use since. And next sentence I've used for 4 years. And the 4 years I know the start and end. So that's the reason we have used 4 years. Now I can discuss example. For हम कब use करते हैं? For 10 minutes, for 8 hours, for 5 days, for 6 months, for 3 years, for 2 centuries. Now, these all things we know the start and ends. That's the reason we are using for. Now, let's see the examples of since 8 o'clock, since Monday, since February, since 1982, since I left school, since the end of last century. So these were the examples that we uses. Now let's start exercise number 5. आपकी बुक में exercise number 5 है. I'm going to read it और जो आपको answers आ रहे हैं since or for write down in any piece of paper. My father is a remarkable man. He has been working days. He was 15 years old. He has been working days. He was at school. He used to work days, 4 hours every day and on weekends. He has now worked in the same factory days 25 years. Days he started working at the factory, he has been promoted many times. He was initially hired days, a period of 3 months, but he has been working there ever days. He was hired as a peon with the responsibility of making tea and delivering parcels and documents as required. He started working days, rupees 25 per day. So this is exercise and 5. It is still continue. If he fell ill or if he was absent, he did not get paid days that day. But my father was a good and committed worker. He only took off days serious emergencies like illness and death. In fact, there were periods when he did not take a single holiday days many months at a time. He soon earned the respect of his co-workers and boss, and days then he has risen higher and higher. He has now worked for the same factory days 25 years. He was offered retirement when he completed 25 years, but he said that he would like to work days a few more years. He hopes he will save enough to start a small manufacturing unit of his own in a few years' time. So this was exercise number 5 और exercise number 6 भी आपके book में है. Write a paragraph explaining what your 3 favorite hobbies or free time activities are or were. Make sure you explain why you started. How long have you done them for? When did you start them? Do you still do them? And why you like them so much? Remember to use for and since in your sentences. तो ये एक्सरसाइज 5 हमने डिस्कस की और एक्सरसाइज नंबर 6 भी आपको लिखनी है बाय यूजिंग फॉर एंड सिंस कि आपकी कौन सी कोई भी हॉबीज हैं, कब से आप स्टार्ट किए हैं. सो नाउ लेट्स स्टार्ट आंसर्स. Exercise number 5 answers are: my father is a remarkable man. He has been working since he was 15 years old. Since he was 15 years old. We know that when he was 15 years old, so we are using had since. जब वो 15 साल का था, तब से वो काम कर. And we don't know the ending time period कि कब तक वो काम करेगा या कर रहा है. So that's the reason we are using since. He has been working since he was at school. He used to work for 4 hours every day. अब वो रोजाना 4 घंटे काम करता है. We know the 4 hours, we can count and we know the start and end. So that's the reason we are using for 4 hours and every day and on weekends. He has now worked in the same factory for 25 years. Since he started working at the factory, he has been promoted many times. He was initially hired for a period of 3 months, but he has been working there ever since. He was hired as a peon with the responsibility of making tea and delivering parcels and documents required. He started working for rupees 25 per day. So this was exercise number 5. I have shared answers where we use since and for. And if you have any difficulty, you can write in comment. Next is, if he fell ill or if he was absent, he did not get paid for that day. But my father was a good and committed worker. He only took off for serious emergencies like illness and death. In fact, there were periods when he did not take a single holiday for many months at a time. He soon earned his respect for his co-workers and boss. And since then, he has risen higher and higher. He has now worked for the same factory for 25 years. He was offered retirement when he completed 25 years, but he said that he would like to work for a few more years. He hopes he will save enough to start a small manufacturing unit of his own in a few years' time. And last exercise is exercise number 6, जो अभी हमने डिस्कस किया कि you write 3 favorite hobbies or activities that you do, and when explain why you started and how long have you been doing them. So you will use since and for. So I've written one answer for you as a sample. Like but when we start, we can see the example it is given. One thing I like doing during my free time is reading. I've been reading storybooks since I was 10 years old. So I've been reading storybooks for nearly 6 years now. Although I have been reading since I was 10 years old, I think I will do it for many years, many more years. In fact, I think I will do it for the rest of my life. Another thing, yet another thing that I did was, so this is example given in a book, and I have written one answer for you of this exercise number 6. Another thing I love doing in free time is writing stories. Writing stories since I've been writing stories since I was 14 years old. I've been writing stories for more than 2 years. I have read so many stories that I have many plots of stories in my mind. I have planned to write all those ideas in the form of stories. I don't know how long it will take to write all those ideas in written form, but since I have decided, I'm going to do it. Yet another thing that I did was collecting stamps. I was doing it since I was 9 years old because I liked the colorful stamps at that time. But I stopped collecting stamps when I was 11 years old. I did that hobby for nearly 2 years. I stopped doing that because I need money to buy it. Now you observe that I use since and for in exercise number 6. So if you have any difficulty regarding the uses of since and for, you can write in comments, we will discuss it. I hope you like my presentation. Thank you very much.